What's up, everybody? Welcome back, man. It's your boy D-Friend. We back in the building for another episode of the D-Friend Show. We got a couple things to get into today. It's going to be a pretty short stream. We do have a live stream going on tonight, Absolutely Unsure Podcast. Probably 9, 9:30, 10 o'clock, within that range. 9 to 10, we'll be live on YouTube once again for the Absolutely Unsure Podcast, so make sure you come back and stay tuned for that. We got a lot of things to discuss over there as well. So today, before we get into it, make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you're not already subscribed already, give the video a big thumbs up. And if you are wanting to listen to the audio-only version of the podcast, go to SoundCloud, Spotify, and iTunes. You get all over there to listen to it in all its audio-only glory. So we got a couple things, man. We got a fight that broke out between two relatively, I would say, not that relevant rappers, but, respect has to be given to these two guys when we get to that story. The biggest story for me is this petition going on against Kevin Samuels and his right to speak on his channel, how he wouldn't speak on his channel, due to the fact that people are trying to blame his followers of how they treat people into the real world and beyond. We also got this crazy LeBron James story, right? LeBron James came out the back of Space Jam. You hate it, you like it, whatever. I don't really care. I like the movie personally, and it was fine by me. But there is this former WNBA player that is accusing LeBron James of something heinous. Something that, if it was to be found out as true, would either lead LeBron to prison, obviously cancellation in today's culture, but possibly a very long prison term sentence. But I don't know how believable this young lady is. We also got something about J.K. Rowling. We got some little Dirk conversation as well. But first things first, let's get to the main story, man. Let's get into Kevin Samuels. I'm not gonna hold you. So anyways, Kevin Samuels had a long storied history on YouTube for the past year. I don't know why I said long, but he's had a storied history on YouTube for the past year when he's blown up. Right, first video you've seen of Kevin Samuels, most people were introduced to him by the clip that went viral on Instagram. It was of him, young lady. She said she was like an 8. He said, no, you went like a 6 or a 5, something to that magnitude. It has continued to spiral over the coming months of popularity, of fame, of attention. You would say that Kevin Samuels, as far as creators in general, but especially black content creators, is one of the biggest content creators on YouTube. I remember one random night, I don't remember if it was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it was probably 10 o'clock at night where I'm from, Kevin Samuels literally had like 30,000 people watching his live. So obviously he's a very popular guy and people want to listen to what he has to say. Now, me personally, not gonna lie, the content isn't necessary for me, maybe because I'm a married guy and I don't really, I'm not in the market for looking for people and this and that. So maybe that's why it's not necessarily my cup of tea, but I respect the content from the guy because that's what message he wants to push. And obviously it is resonating with people out there in today's society. Not just men. From what he says, there's women that resonate with what he's saying as well. So let's read this petition on change.org. Remove Kevin Samuels from YouTube and Instagram. Not just YouTube, and Instagram. So this is what their mission statement for this is. There's already 7,202 signatures. They only need 7,500. That doesn't mean he's actually going to get banned, but that's what we're looking at as far as signatures. There's 7,202 people that have signed this petition to get him off YouTube. But anyways, with the rise in violence against women, specifically African-American women, YouTuber Kevin Samuels has galvanized a community of men of all races and nationalities in the outspoken hatred of women. Removing this voice of divisive vitriol will allow women to feel safer, not only in public spaces, but in online communities as well. Freedom of speech is a constitutional right for each of us. However, when that speech is loaded with thoughts and threats of violence towards women, manipulation of young women, and even fantasies of death to women, that freedom of speech becomes a prison for all people those thoughts and desires are intended to isolate. Acts of violence, sexual predatory behavior, and even death has been documented as stemming from rhetoric Mr. Samuels and his community of followers has spewed in just the last 12 months alone. Women feel unsafe in the presence of men who identify with this ideology and even have been berated while going about their daily lives. Yes, even while at work. The criticisms that have been spoken directly from Ms. Samuels' mouth, the very words that were spoken on social media platforms have permeated every facet of daily life for unsuspecting women. Remove this leader of hatred against women. Will bring reprieve for all of us. So this is the attempt to get Kevin Samuels taken down from YouTube because his content is a little bit too much for whoever this person is. I don't know who this person is. Does it say who's the creator? The Goldie Jones channel. She a YouTube person? I want to see this. Hold on. We got to see this. Is this Goldie Jones? The Goldie Jones channel. I want to look that up. What type of content do you create? Okay, so she's actually live right now. The reason, so she's like the anti-Kevin Samuels. She has videos. The reason why so many black men feel pathetic is because this is what made Petition. Some of you black men are embarrassing. So she's explaining on her channel why she does what she does. Black men say they're waking up. Why have you been asleep so long? So it's like she's like the opposite, I would say, of a Kevin Samuels as figure. This is what I gotta say. I'm not gonna lie. There probably are people that Kevin Samuels speaks to that take his message and use it to berate, belittle, barrage against women. I'm not even going to sit here and try to dispute that because I know anybody, it doesn't matter what message it is, good or bad, evil, good, there are always going to be people within your congregation that will use your message for evil, right? But I don't think that you could solely place it on the person who is speaking to these people because I cannot myself control what my viewers do with the views information that I give them. If I'm Kevin Samuels and these women are coming on my show willingly, I'm not forcing these women. I'm not R. Kellying them, holding them downstairs in a ball and chain. Then I bring them up to the stairs to get on this live stream with me. These are women who are wanting to and waiting in this lobby that he has. Because if you watch the show, there's women lined up in the lobby waiting to get on the show with him. And by now you know what type of show Kevin Samuels has. So if you're not got your shit together, married, this and that, and you know you're a person that isn't the cutest, but you're going to get on their side when a guy who makes 250, 300, you already know what you're signing up to deal with. So in all, that's your fault if you get on there, get offended, and get mad because you know what you're going on there to deal with. That's like if you're a black and you know like you're going on the show with this guy and he's a racist, you know he's a racist. You know he's going to say racist shit to you. You know he's going to say something that you don't like. And I'm not comparing because the advice he gives, I don't want to compare it to a racist. That might be a little bit too extreme. But my point is, if you're going on somewhere where you know the kind of response you're going to get, then you probably shouldn't go on that show. That probably shouldn't be your first stop. Maybe you should be like, okay, I know he's going to say, I'm 5'4", 300 pounds. I shouldn't be feeling like this. I need to settle for a guy making $50,000. Like I already know what he's going to say. So I'm not going to put myself and my feelings in the way of that bullet. I'm just get off the live stream. I'm gonna get off the view. And as far as, like I said, his audience coming after people on the internet and social media, that's just how social media is. You can look at any influencer who has a huge audience and they'll use it against their opponent. Because most people have opponents, right? Kevin Samuels is like the men versus women. The high value men versus women, the low value men versus, like that's the dynamic. And a lot of the men who are mad or probably using these things in the workplace aren't high value men. They're men that are average that want the women that are average to want them. That's pretty much what that is. Because the whole thing is average men can't get average women because average women want high value men, but the average women can't get high value men because high value men are not looking at women that are average in the way that they explain themselves on his show. So they're already mad and upset they can't get the average women because average women don't want them. For whatever reason it is, if it's historical, systemic, anything like that, I can't give you the answer. A lot of people have to stop going after people who don't want them. Eventually, if you're regular, I can assure you'll find somebody who wants you. But if you're going after these women that you're seeing on the show, women who are saying they want $150,000 guys and they want this, just move on. Because like we speak about on the podcast, there's always going to be somebody that's out there for you. There's always going to be somebody out there that wants to be with you. But a lot of people are searching for people that they would deem in a higher standard. Because like for women, it's like beauty, and for men, it's like money. So a lot of men who don't make a lot of money are looking for the women that are the most beautiful. Maybe you also need to take your stuff down a notch and get you an average looking. You're not going to get the supermodel. You're not going to. Even if the supermodel's dead, broke, don't got no money, you're not going to get her. So go around your local office, go around your local area and get you an average woman too. That's how I look at the whole Kevin Samuels. But the act of wanting to petition him to kick him off YouTube, I think that's a little extreme. I think that's a little wild, especially because a lot of the people that he interacts with on his show are there voluntarily. And they already know when they get on that show what they're going to receive. If they have if they have that certain mentality that he usually goes after, i.e. women who are average looking, saying they want $150,000, but they have like 3 kids. Like, you already know. I literally watched one the other day where a woman was saying she just moved from Arizona. She has 1 child. She doesn't want to mess with a guy who doesn't make, I think it was like 150, 250. But then he started breaking it down to, okay, who's your baby daddy? Oh, he's a guy who works in a warehouse. He had like a criminal background. And he was like, do you think a guy that makes a lot of money is going to want to deal with that? Especially your son's, like, it's a lot of things that are logical that you just got to look at. Now, a lot of people can be exceptions to the rule. I'm sure there's plenty of guys that make tons of money that would date a woman with a child. We've seen it. It's out there. But what's the average of that happening? How long are you going to hold out to get that? Might as well just get you a regular guy and go off and be happy with him. But anyways, that's what I just want to speak on, because it was interesting to see that there was actually a real. There's another YouTuber that made the petition. Now, I don't know if she did the petition hoping to get a little bit of more publicity, because like I said, she put out a video that said, this is why I made the petition. It got 3,000 views. That's more views than she typically gets on her channel altogether. And it looks like she's like an anti-Kevin Samuels. Like, she's going at black men in a certain way. In her standard, she's going at black women. So it's kind of like it's a ping pong volleyball back and forth type thing. But let's get to some violence, man. Let's get to some fighting. So not even over the weekend, yesterday night, a video was released of YB and AlmightyJay and Skinny from the Night. If you don't know who these people are, I mean, I'm not going to lie to you, I don't blame you. They're not the most prominent rappers in the world, but they're like the rappers that you see all over social media, right? They're like rappers that are on social media, but you never heard their music. Well, mainstream, never heard their music mainstream. Maybe little underground kids, they love this shit, but most people don't give a fuck about these people's music. Anyways, I do want to say before we watch the video, I respect like talking shit to each other on the internet and like really having a beef, not like fake, like we just talking shit, we just like critiquing each other, but like really talking shit about each other. And instead of all that fake bumping on the internet, we on Instagram Live screaming at each other, doing all that, we're just gonna fight. So this is the 50-second clip of the fight. I don't have the beginning. I don't know what happened after this, but this is the clip that got posted, I believe, by YB and AlmightyJay after the fight took place. So let's take a look at it. Skinny from the Nine is like the Mexican looking one in AlmightyJay's ball.
Handle that business.
What they fighting over, beats?
Look, go to Instagram. I'll show you the Instagram. Yo, he be on internet. Yo, they be on.
The best part of this fight isn't even them fighting. The best part of this fight is these. I don't know who these sound like little kids, sound like a little white kid and maybe a black kid. I don't know by really hearing their voice, but to me it sounds like a white kid and a black kid. The way they're describing these two individuals is, to me, is just hilarious.
Internet, like, disrespecting each other.
Got him.
Ooh.
Who is it?
Skinny from the Nine and AlmightyJay. That YBN nigga, YBN. Remember her? He was in YBN. Where's my other phone?
Got him. Drop him.
Oh, shit.
Come on, Skinny.
Look at Skinny. He want to go for the chokehold. You done got dropped now. He trying to go UFC full chokehold mode. All type of shit. But like I said, I respect that because a lot of these guys, they'll just get to talking shit on the internet and they'll never do nothing. Now, I'm not condoning violence or promoting violence, but I mean, if you're going to do all this talking, at some point, you're going to see each other. Like watch. This weekend coming up, I believe, on Friday, is Rolling Loud. I'm not going to be surprised how many altercations we hear about, how many little discrepancies we hear about behind the scenes, because these guys on the internet, they talk shit to each other, knowing eventually they're going to have to run into each other. And I would rather them do this, if they really feel the need to fight, if you really feel the need for violence, I would rather you knuckle up like this, then we see shootings, killings, things of that nature. Because honestly, when it comes to rappers, and I'm going to get into that when I get into this next video that preceded after this fight happened, it's not ever the rapper necessarily that's doing the shooting or getting shot. It's always the people around them that are getting shot or shooting at people, and then they end up ruining their lives defending this rapper. So anyways, this was after the fight. So Skinny from the Nine did the thing that most people do when they, you see a fight of somebody, they get dropped, so they got to confirm that nothing really happened. I'm still good. He didn't really beat me up. My face is all good and my face is clean. So let's take a look at that video.
My face.
Come on, man.
Look at my face, man. Fuck y'all niggas talking about. Look at my face, man.
Let's not talk about how niggas went and knocked on the door after that, nigga. Nah, I'm cool.
What happened? What happened?
Come on. We went and knocked on the door, nigga. Like, nah, I'm cool. I fuck with you, Skinny. Nah, it ain't like that. On blood.
Come on.
See, that's what I mean. They got these guys standing next to him and around him. That's like the entourage, the protection, and don't get fucked up or killed trying to be the protection for some rapper that will not protect you. If Skinny and I won't defend you the way you did, we knocked on. What's the point of knocking on the door afterwards? We already fought. If I fight somebody and then we end it and we walk our separate way, don't come back knocking on my. Don't have your entourage come knocking on my door. It's over. We already fought. Me and you fought. Let's not get our entourage into it. Then the entourage start fighting, and the entourage start shooting, and then more destruction happens that way. Me and you got the one-on-one. I don't want to say Skinny from 9 lost. He did, we're talking about UFC rules. He ended up getting him in a chokehold after, but he got knocked down. Who knows? He could have slipped. Maybe got clipped. Who knows? I mean, like, he didn't get his ass beat. Obviously, you see his face is not fucked up, but we was talking shit on social media to each other. We got into a fight. Leave it at that. Having an entourage guy in the back hyping up like, look. Yeah, remember, we did try to meet him after. It don't matter. Y'all already fought. Who cares about meeting him after if you guys already fought each other? But he did that. Social media. Yeah, it's social media. It's like narrative. I got to shift the narrative. Okay, y'all see me get dropped. AlmightyJay said he posted the clip, and then Skinny from the 9, I don't know how he knows this, but he said he reported the clip because the clip got taken down off of Instagram because obviously Skinny from the 9 doesn't want that promo out there. He already has a long history of negative promotional material that is being built up or has been built up against him. So getting knocked down by YB and AlmightyJay isn't probably the best thing that you want to be put out there at this point in time. So that's when he does the propaganda at the video. Well, we tried to go over to him after. We tried to fight it. It's like, bro, it's already over. We already fought. I'm not going to keep on fighting. We had a problem. We fought. It's over. So that conversation, though, of friends or people being around you, creating drama, or people around you being used as pawns in your game as a rapper, has rolled over into the OTF camp with Lil Dirk. So we all know what happened to Dirk. I think like it was last week or last weekend. His home was broken into, and him and his girlfriend did what they were supposed to do, and they defended their home. People came in. Lil Dirk and his girlfriend started shooting at the people. No problem with that. People run up into your house in the middle of the night. Because this is the thing. When people run into your house during the daytime, sometimes they might not be intentionally there to run into somebody. Right? They might think, oh, maybe they're gone. Maybe they scouted out a little bit. Maybe they know your work schedule. So when people break in during the day, most times I feel like they're not there to have a confrontation. They're there to sneak in and sneak out. But when somebody comes to your home at nighttime, I feel like in that instance, they're ready to kill you. So Lil Dirk and his girlfriend shooting at these guys, I have no problem with that at all. But anyways, Lil Dirk calls out OTF false claimers in IG rant. So this is a story from Hot New Hip Hop. Lil Dirk is fed up with people who claim OTF but don't ever show up for him when he needs them. Last week, news broke that Lil Dirk and India Royale had engaged in a shootout and successfully defended their Atlanta residence during an attempted home invasion by several unidentified individuals. And thankfully, neither of them were injured in the incident, although 6ix9ine was quick to taunt his longtime adversary. Many of Dirk's fans thought the Chicago rapper had plenty to celebrate in light of his prevented tragedy. However, there seems to be something far more serious than missing the cut for Kanye's fourth. Why are they adding on 6ix9ine? Kanye, I don't give a fuck about that. That's bothering Lil Dirk as of late. On Tuesday evening, the Voice of the Heroes rapper took to Instagram story to let off some steam. So this is what he had to do. Niggas don't even be with us that claim OTF. So when y'all do shit to motherfuckers, stand up for it. Don't leave us dry to deal with it, even though we gonna do us. Half y'all niggas about to get the fuck on. So from that, all you can muster from that is people around Dirk claim that they're OTF. They claim that they're with Lil Dirk. They support Lil Dirk. They do whatever for Lil. I don't know what else they do for Lil Dirk, but they claim they're a part of that crew. But when it comes to bullshit they do, they don't own up to what. It's like, oh, an OTF person did that. Even if you're not really an OTF person, you might be around us. People might see you with us, and then you go do dirt, and people assume that you're tied in with me. What are they gonna do? They're gonna come after me. They're going to come after my people. They're going to come after my family. So I feel like that is what Dirk is pretty much inserting here with his IG message, which is smart. Because if you have a label, which OTF is whatever, they have O Block, all this stuff, ATK, that's Jacksonville, but they have these crews with their hip hop. You don't want people that's just hanging around to be able to claim that, especially when they go out and do illegal things. Because when they go out and do these illegal activities, they go out and do these illegal things, you're the most notable person of this group. So who do you think they're going to be likely to target? Who do you think they might have the easiest access to in this situation? Lil Dirk's schedule is X, Y, and Z. He's going to be at birthday bash. He's going to be here. He's going to be there. He's going to be doing this. He's going to be doing that. Like, he's accessible. He's out and about. He has to be out and about. He can't just chill on the block all day, hiding it wherever he's going to hide it. He has to be out and about. So I completely understand that. But also, with Lil Dirk, it just brings me back to the thing that King Von's uncle said to Lil Dirk when it came to dissing people that were in Chicago, right? So he's saying now that there are people in OTF that are doing shit that ain't staying on their shit, and it's falling back on him and his people. They're going to handle it how they got to handle it, but it's still falling back on them. But it's also eerily similar to what King Von's uncle said when he's like, you are living in Atlanta, LA, wherever you living at, in these nice big mansions, zip codes we can't even get into, and you're dissing people here, which is causing a ripple effect, a deathly ripple effect within this community. So it's kind of like two sides of the same coin. Like, Lil Dirk is upset because people are causing shit under the OTF name, but aren't really OTF, or they're not really standing on what they did, and it's falling back on him, and it's blowing back in his face, is the same thing that King Von's uncle is telling him that he's doing. So, like I said, it's two sides of the same coin. And at some point, I know being like the voice of the streets and being this and being that, like, that's cool. It's a cool tagline. It's cool promo. It's whatever. It's cool. He makes good music. It's great branding. Because in hip hop, you want to be locked down to the street like you want to be. But at some point, it's like, come on, dog. Come on. Do it. Because Lil Dirk maybe just gotten popular, like super popular. But he been around for a while. That's why I'm so like, what's the word I'm looking for? Not surprised. Like, I salute Lil Dirk's come up, because there's plenty of times he could have been like, okay, I'm dropping shit, kind of in the shadows of the whole Chicago movement. It's not really going nowhere for me. I'm not the level I want to be at. He persevered, kept dropping music, and he caught a wave. And now he riding that wave to the finish. I don't know how long the wave's going to last. I don't know how long all the hype and the praise and the glory and the media push is going to last. But for the moment, he's riding that wave. And I just feel like at a certain time, you got to step back and be like, you know what? I made it, dog. All the other shit I was doing, I don't got to do it no more. I don't got to diss dead people. I don't got to create issues in my community that I'm no longer in. So, especially like people trying to break to you. Now, that's Atlanta. They do what the fuck they want to do over there. Same thing like they do in LA, where they break in the famous people's houses. Like, there's people that's hungry in the streets trying to get to you. I get that. But at some point, you gotta be like, okay, I'm just gonna try to like distance myself from this old life completely. I can still make music. Like, there's nothing wrong to me of making music about your past life. There's nothing wrong with that. You just don't gotta diss the people that are there still. Just tell stories. Opt out of naming names. Don't give super relevant information that people can tie to people. Just don't do that. But that was an Instagram story, and I think that's a smart thing to do. You got to make the circle smaller, especially like, because he knows better than any of us. He knows better than me. He knows better than you. He knows better than anybody. He knows better than what happened and why whatever happened to him happened. Like, he's in Atlanta. He plugged in with, I'm sure, like Lil Baby and they people, and he got people. They know people. Like, they know what happened. And they know why it happened. So that's, I would assume, why he's releasing this information, because he ain't just saying it just to say it. Something that probably happened with someone who claims OTF in Atlanta, and the Atlanta people did not like it, so they went to, take action. And that's all assumption. That's all just me pulling out the thing there. But that's how I look at it. That's where I pull it from. Right? So Let's get into the wildest story there. We only got 2 more things to discuss and talk about. Let's get into the wildest story there. So there's this former WNBA player. Her name is Cappie, and this is perfect for this because it's got to be. It's got to be Cappie Pondexter. She's a former first-round WNBA player. She got picked second in the 2006 draft. She played 2006 to 2018. So recently she went on a live stream rant to claim that LeBron James stole all of her money and trafficked me. So former WNBA All-Star Cappie Pondexter outrageously blames the Lakers MVP for reportedly going missing for 2 years. But the report shows she was only missing for a week, right? She was arrested for battery or something like that, and then she was released, and her friends said that they couldn't find her, and then she was later found a week later. Anyways, given how much weight LeBron's name carries, it's no surprise that he attracts a bevy of negative media attention. Almost anything the Lakers superstar does is put underneath a lens and analyzed to a T to see whether or not if he is in the right or wrong. However, there are some negative situations that he gets roped into that aren't his fault. It's just someone trying to capitalize off his name. Cappie Pondexter was the 2nd overall pick in 2006 and saw a fairly successful career within the league. Well, I say he. Is there like a transgender thing going on here? He was a 7-time All-Star and was mainly used as a threat from the mid-range. See, they went from he to she. Now y'all are confusing me. She was even voted in as one of the 15 greatest WNBA players in league history by fans back in 2011. So after having retired in 2018, Pondexter was relatively quiet on social front. However, in October of last year, she went missing following her getting arrested on battery charge. She was found later that week, like I told y'all. Cappie Pondexter took to her Instagram live yesterday and essentially called out LeBron James for trafficking her while also stealing all of her money. She would let everybody watching her live know that that she doesn't F with LeBron James due to everything he's done allegedly to her. Now let's watch Cappie Pondexter throw so much negativity and slander on the GOAT LeBron James.
I ain't confused. I ain't on that shit. That nigga tried to kill me for real. I just fucking got out of that shit. I've been missing for almost like 2 years. I didn't even know where the fuck I was at. I do not fuck with LeBron James. That nigga's a trafficker, my nigga. That nigga is a trafficker. He is a fucking trafficker. He trafficked women in real time. That nigga stole all my money out of my bank account. I ain't no one.
Okay, so that's her story, and she's the thing about this is, it's just so outlandish. And I know the conspiracy theorists and everybody. They're like, oh yeah, that's how he became so successful. He had to sacrifice WNBA women, and why would LeBron need to steal all this women's money? Let's be honest for a second. WNBA players make what? $50,000 a year, $60,000 a year. Even the great ones maybe make $100K. Think about $100K. LeBron James making $36 million a year. And that's just in basketball. Outside of basketball, he's probably tacking on another $60 million in whatever other ventures he's putting out there. Why would he need to traffic Cappie Pondexter of all people? Now, never want to joke about mental health or anything like that because not obvious, allegedly. I feel like she's got to be good. Either she just wants some kind of social media attention and she's getting it in all the wrong ways and all the wrong places, or she has something going on with her mentally that, she just can't overcome. And maybe she's hallucinating. Maybe she's just envisioning things. She's just making up stories or whatever. But then she also had other stories that I've seen. Beyonce was her wife. She said she owns like parts of Nike and she's not getting money from being the owner of Nike. It's like a whole bunch of things that this young lady is saying that does not make sense. But the thing with social media is, it's so dangerous about social media, is that anybody of any kind of, because like I said, what gives her legitimacy is her being a WNBA, like being an NBA player at some level, right? So it gives her a case of legitimacy. And there will be people out there that believe everything she's saying. Because like I said, people will tie it to some kind of like conspiracy theory that LeBron James has to do X, Y, and Z to maintain his place of power in the world. And if he does not do these for some evil cabal of whatever, not get them a certain number of women, they'll start finding things like LeBron threw up a number 4 in a picture, and that means 4 women. They'll just find anything to kind of big up this conspiracy theory in their mind and drive it on. But like I said, most people I feel like think this is bullshit because most outlets aren't. You would think like more outlets would be reporting on this, but this is real. Like the website that I found this article on is called. Let me see if I can find it. It's called the Sport Rush. I never heard of sportrush.com. Maybe it's a big website, but I've never heard of it. So hopefully, Cappy Pondexter, whatever she's going through, hopefully she gets through it. Hopefully she gets the help that she may need. Possibly, like I said, anything. I ain't gonna lie to you. With all the shit that we've seen go on in the world, anything could happen. Anything any of these superstars are doing could happen. The thing with LeBron is, though, he's just been so squeak. Besides, like, people critiquing his play or he's not clutch and whatever, like, regardless of, like, actual play. Outside of play, LeBron has been one of the only people that are at that level that he's at that would seem to have no controversies besides, like, on the court thing. Oh, he went to Miami, super team. He did this. He can't play with us. Like, besides that type of controversy, he's never had no public off the court controversy. I mean, besides like Eric, what's his name? What's the guy who got picked up by Mark Cuban, who's like drugged out? Besides him, like fucking his mama, but like he can't control it. That ain't got nothing to do with him. He's never had anything. Now maybe Cappy, whatever. Maybe she's in debt, and there's some conspiracy theory that they need her to try to put something on LeBron to slow down his momentum. Right? He's trying to take over film. His film company, Spring Hill's, worth $700 million. Right? He's creating academies and schools for young kids in disenfranchised areas to get them into college, giving them free. Maybe she's a pawn for the people. Who knows? I mean, that's just a conspiracy theory. I don't believe none of that shit, but like, it's easy to flip those things on their head when it comes to situations and things like this. But last thing I got, man, I'm going to get up out of here. And we're going to get later tonight. Absolute Sure Podcast. Make sure you check that out. So, J.K. Rowling, one of the greatest authors of all time. One of the greatest. She possibly created one of the greatest from literacy to film of all time. Right? And that'd be that guy right there. Harry Potter. So she's gotten a lot of flack over the years for comments she's made about trans people. And how sometimes she feels that trans rights kind of push against like biological women's rights, which to me seems like, somewhat you can have that valid argument, right? If you feel like your community is being kind of pushed back because a certain one is being brought to the forefront, especially from what we'll read, your personal experiences, I understand that. I really understand both sides when it comes to it. We're going to get into it. So anyways, Bree Newsom is an activist. I think we did a video about Bree Newsom when what were we speaking about? I forgot. But Bree Newsom came up in a story that we did a month ago as well. So this is the story from, Daily Wire. Well-known activist attacks J.K. Rowling. Just another violent white woman. So this is her tweet. She didn't even tweet her name. She blanked it out. I guess she didn't want to give her promo or whatever. But anyways, it's just another violent white woman. This is what Bree Newsom had to say about J.K. Rowling's behavior when it comes to her comments about trans people and trans activists. So what she did is classic violent white women behavior. Go out of her way to use her powerful position to target a minority group that already experienced daily systematic violence and then claim she's the real victim when there's backlash. Unlike those she targeted for no reason and who are already disproportionately the victims of violence, murder, and hate crimes, she can afford personal security, can even afford to live isolated in luxury if she wants to. She sees no connection, has no empathy, a violent personality. I think that's a little bit extreme. She's especially when we're going to read the comments that she made, a violent, like I said, these people on Twitter, man, they're a little extra. Like they like to like just jump out the window with certain. Like I look at this similar to the kind of like the thing I seen yesterday with Megyn Kelly and Clay Travis. How they was coming at Naomi Osaka. It was like, no, it's the way you're reading into it is not the way that it is. But people do it to get, you know, you get tweets, you get promotion, you get pats on the back. Like people love you. You're standing up for me, or you're standing against it. Like they love that shit, and they love the look. She got 1,000 likes for this post. Ironically, and like I said, Daily Wire is a right leaning, so the way I read it, you know, this is there. You can take it with a grain of salt. Ironically, it is Rawling who has actually received death threats. On Sunday, Rawling, who has endured vitriol and abuse from transgender activists, fired back at someone who sent her a death threat over Twitter, wishing her to receive a pipe bomb in her mailbox. That's wild. Like the comments that I'm hearing from the things that I've heard her say or tweet are not pipe bomb. I don't think really nothing, unless like somebody's threatening you. I don't think anything is really pipe bomb worthy to sling at somebody. So I want to read the tweets. I don't read all this stuff. So anyways, we're gonna read the pipe bomb tweet, but this is something that happened. I guess she said something to her account. Trans activists are putting porn in threads that she tweets. So anyways, this guy tweeted, "What's your favorite Scottish literary quote?" I'll start. "I've ignored porn tweeted at children, J.K. Rowling." J.K. Rowling responded to him saying, "1, I'll give you a moment to think hard about leaving that up. I reported every bit of porn so-called trans allies tweeted into Twitter threads where children were sending me artwork for the Ichabod. I didn't respond or retweet it because I didn't want more kids to see it. I'm not sure how these tactics using porn as a weapon against women you dislike, not caring that children get caught in the crossfire, and then misrepresenting what really happened is supposed to help trans people. Nor do I see how what you've done here helps correct the impression that the end game for you and your ilk is to intimidate women out of speaking up for our own rights, no matter how low you have to go to do it." So that's weird. I never heard that. So there are people who are trans. Now, I want to say because let me say this: most times, in any situation where there's like someone may be saying something against your community that you might be offended by, you might have the right to be offended by it. Right? You might have the right to. But it seems like a lot of times it be people that are not part of that group that do the most to like ally for that group. Like I could probably guarantee that most people that are under J.K. Rowling's pics tweeting porn when she's asking children to like send in artwork for, I guess, a book or something she's writing, and they're tweeting porn, probably aren't transgender. Probably not. They're just these people who want to insert themselves into the conversation, or they want to seem like they can. Let's keep it straight. Let me just say, I say this all the time. Everybody does not give a fuck about everything. They just don't. A lot of people will get on social media and engage in social media activism because it gets likes, it gets retweets, it gets them a little bit of popularity. They feel like they're like on another level than their real life. So they engage in it because they know what type of behavior will get the likes, retweets, and the satisfaction, the pats on the back. A lot of people. I would assume a lot of people do that. But there are also people who are misguided and they care too much about certain shit they probably shouldn't care about. That, not saying that the trans activism, not in that respect. I'm just saying there's a lot of things that people do on social media that have no place in the real world at all. So anyways, an admirer encouraged J.K. Rowling, writing, "Please keep fighting, Joe." Let me put it up on screen. "It must be so hard sometimes with the abuse you face, but you're a voice for so many of us who feel the same way and don't have a voice. We have your back." This prompted someone to tweet Rowling, "I wish you a very..." This was the pipe bomb tweet comes in. So she said, "Thank you to the person who bigged her up. I'm going to keep on fighting, and together we will win." And that's when this person, Queer Gerard, "I wish you a very nice pipe bomb in the mailbox." She said, "To be fair, when you get a woman sacked, arrested, or dropped by her publisher, and canceling her only made her book sales go up, there's really only one place to go. So you can't cancel me. I can't get arrested. You can't get the publisher." Well, J.K. Rowling, like maybe he was like a little dud motherfucker, maybe like someone who like ain't really got no pull. Ain't no publisher dropping J.K. Rowling unless she like come out like Nazi salute, like go wild, racist, whatever. Then you know what I'm saying, they'll let it go. Even super transphobic, because from what I'm reading, What she said to me is like some transphobic shit that people, because they make anything phobic. Anything's a phobia. But let's just get to it. Let's get to what she said. Someone tweeted, is this still because of her comments about the safety of women in toilets, changing rooms, if men can use them by simply saying they identify as a woman, ? She said, yes. But now hundreds of trans activists have threatened to beat, rape, assassinate, and bomb me. I realize that this moment poses no risk to women whatsoever. So pretty much, she says, when you throw open the doors of bathrooms and changing rooms to any man who believes or feels he is a woman, and as I've said, gender confirmation certificates may now be granted without any need for surgery or hormones. Then you open up the door to any and all men who wish to come inside. That is simply a truth. If you think that statement is controversial, I think you're wild. Now, I get how being trans, that could be perceived because a lot of people may be trans that haven't got the hormones, that haven't got the surgery. So I can see how you might be offended by that. And I can see how her saying that and other people believing that might put a negative and bad light on you. I can see that. I can honestly sit here and see why you, that's like saying, I don't know if this is equivalent, but like, hey, no, because gender, you being a biological man saying you're a woman is different than like being black or something. So I guess I can't really equate. I was trying to build up a situation where that would happen in that world, but I can't. But we can't act like that is not a possibility. And she's saying this because she's like a victim of sexual assault and things of that nature. Think about it. Think about it like this. All those sicko child molesters, sicko rapists, peeping toms. You don't think there's going to be no instance they can just be like, oh shit, I could just be like, I'm a woman, I'm going to go in here? Not saying that it's going to be on a broad, not saying like, oh, open the bathrooms up tomorrow. Oh, there was 1 million rapes. I don't think it's that. I don't think it's that extreme. But I don't think it's a problem for women to at least just voice their concern. At least a voice that, you know what I'm saying, I feel this could happen. I don't think her saying that is any way transphobic. That's just a fear of something potentially happening that she has. But it's fear, it puts a negative light on the trend. I get that. I do. I honestly do get that. I can see how you could say that. But my point in saying that is the reaction to her saying that is an overreaction to her reaction. Her saying she feels that way in a lot of points is a valid point because that could happen because you would not want it to happen to anybody. Even if it only happens once, that's one too many. But saying she should be beaten, raped, saying she needs a pipe bomb, blow her up. She's like, I've been saying she's like, J.K. Rowling is the worst. I could swear she was like Hitler's like she was Hitler's sister or something from the things I've seen people say about her. But, you know, that's social media, and that's the way social media reacts to people that are I would say she's a celebrity. She's not in the movie, she's not in the whatever, but she's the author of one of the greatest franchises of all time. So people look at her with a little bit of, she's a billionaire, she's this, she's privileged, she's whatever. She can't really speak on these things because when she speaks on them, her voice is too magnified and it will affect this community. I get it. But like I said, her reaction does not deserve that type of overreaction. Conversations need to happen. Let's talk. Okay, JK, I get what you're saying, but this is how we look at that as, like, we look at your rhetoric as harmful because X, Y, and Z happen. Trans people get murdered because of fears and this and that. So you kind of pushing that narrative kind of hurts us. Conversation. Rather than, you need a pipe bomb. You need to blow you up. You need to be canceled. Your book publishing, like, all that shit is unnecessary. And most people won't agree with it. Like, you might take it too far where you push people away from your side. You're like, damn, y'all threatening her just because she made a statement like that. Like, that's a little bit too much. I don't know if I can really hop on that side with you if that's the way you guys resolve conflict on your side. Because I think that's a little bit of overkill, to no pun intended. Like, it's a little bit too much. But it's like I have you guys say, man, like I said, we will be going live later on tonight, so make sure you check that out. Absolutely sure between 9 and 10 we'll be begin the live stream with a lot of things to talk about over there. So make sure you come in, make sure you sit back, relax. A lot of great conversation with me and the guys. If you're here, make sure you subscribe on YouTube right now. Give this video a big thumbs up. Go to SoundCloud, Spotify, and iTunes. Look up The D-Friend Show.